A boiling head on the stove, dismembered limbs soaking in chemicals, and a house reeking of bleach. This isn't the scene of a fictional crime drama. It's the horrifying reality police discovered after a seemingly normal Thanksgiving celebration turned into one of the most brutal family murders in history. This is the story of Joel Guy Jr., a man who took the love and sacrifices of his parents and repaid them with unimaginable cruelty. Joel Guy Sr., affectionately known as Michael, was a man everyone respected. Born on February 10, 1955, Michael worked as a pipeline engineer, providing a stable and comfortable life for his family. Known for his kind heart, Michael was the type of person who would go out of his way to help others, whether it was through his career or in his personal life. Lisa Guy, Michael's wife, was equally beloved. A human resources worker at an engineering firm, Lisa had a reputation for being caring and generous, always putting others before herself. Together, Michael and Lisa built a life that revolved around their children. Lisa wasn't just a stepmother to Michael's daughters from his first marriage. She was their rock, their guiding hand, and their loving mother figure. One of Lisa's stepdaughters spoke tearfully in court about how much she idolized her. She described Lisa as a dream mother, someone she admired so deeply that she even modeled her life around her.
Lisa has been in my life my entire life, and they had said it 3, but she's been my entire memory. And so we would go in the summers. Dad would have us for a month in the summer because they always lived so far away, and Angela and I would go visit for the entire month. But the dynamics of that was my mom was a single mom, so there's struggles with single moms. But when we went to Lisa's house, her cabinets were stocked with food, and she greeted Dad like the perfect Walton family. When they would come home, dinner would be cooked with meat and side dishes, and there would be candy in the shelves. And I just would watch her, and I watched her growing up like she was the mom, or that dream that you have to have a double parent home, to where she loved, like, I so wanted to be this woman that my first engagement ring was her exact engagement ring, and I wanted to be the mom she was. She would sit in her little Brownsberry brown shirt. She had a really high arch in her foot, and just with her cup, I wanted to even, at certain points in my life, I walked around with a cup that had like the little square placement under it, because I wanted to be her. I wanted to be the mom that she was.
From mimicking Lisa's favorite outfits to designing an engagement ring like hers, this stepdaughter saw Lisa as the epitome of love and warmth. But while the Guy family seemed perfect from the outside, there was one dark cloud looming: Joel Guy Jr. Joel Guy Jr. was the only biological child of Michael and Lisa. Despite growing up in a household filled with love, Joel was cold, distant, and ungrateful. He rarely interacted with his family and avoided his half-sisters whenever they visited. Locked away in his room, he gave off an air of superiority, treating others as if they were beneath him. Joel excelled academically in his younger years, which only fueled his arrogance. He attended the prestigious Louisiana School for Math, Science, and the Arts, and later studied at George Washington University before transferring to Louisiana State University to pursue a career in plastic surgery. But while Joel's education suggested ambition, his life told a different story. He never worked a day in his life. Instead, Joel relied entirely on his parents, particularly Lisa, who sent him money to cover tuition, rent, and living expenses. At 28 years old, Joel lived alone in Baton Rouge, completely dependent on his mother's hard-earned income. His parents hoped their financial support would help him achieve independence, but Joel saw it as something he was entitled to, a belief that would lead to devastating consequences. In 2016, Michael lost his job, forcing the couple to reassess their finances. They realized they could retire comfortably if they sold their family home and stopped supporting Joel. This decision was a turning point for the family. Lisa informed Joel of their plans weeks before Thanksgiving, knowing it wouldn't be easy for him to hear. Surprisingly, Joel didn't react with anger. In fact, he seemed happy. At Thanksgiving that year, Joel's behavior stunned his family. Known for avoiding social interactions, he suddenly became warm and engaging. He played with his stepsister's children, laughed, and even posed for family photos, something completely out of character. His sisters whispered to each other, hopeful that Joel was turning over a new leaf. But Joel's behavior wasn't a change of heart. It was a facade, masking a sinister plan he had already put into motion. Joel arrived at the family home with 2 large plastic tubs, which he carried inside without explanation. No one questioned him. Little did they know, those tubs contained the tools of a gruesome murder he had been planning for weeks. On November 26th, 2 days after Thanksgiving, Joel executed his plan. He attacked his father in the exercise room, stabbing him over 40 times. The room was a scene of chaos, with blood splattered on the walls, torn blinds, and an overturned Bowflex machine. Despite his age, Michael fought for his life, leaving Joel with deep cuts on his hands. While his father lay lifeless, Joel turned his attention to his mother. Lisa had just returned home from grocery shopping. Her groceries were still scattered in the foyer when Joel lured her upstairs and ambushed her. He stabbed her 31 times, severing 9 ribs with the force of his attack. What happened next defies comprehension. Joel decapitated his mother and placed her head in a pot, which he left boiling on the stove. He then dismembered both bodies, placing the remains in plastic bins filled with chemicals in an attempt to dissolve them. When Lisa failed to show up for work on November 28th, her employer grew worried. After repeated calls went unanswered, they requested a welfare check. Police arrived at the Guy family home to find it locked, but something felt off. The house reeked of chemicals, and groceries lay abandoned near the front door. Using a garage door opener from an unlocked car, officers entered the home. Inside, they found a scene that would haunt them forever.
Hello, Sheriff's Office! There's Don walking in. Oh, shit.
I hear dogs are howling.
Knox County Sheriff's Office!
Damn hammer.
Police! Police Department, Sheriff's Office!
Michael and Lisa's dismembered remains were submerged in bins of chemicals. Lisa's head was still boiling on the stove. Bleach bottles, cleaning supplies, and evidence of the crime were scattered throughout the house. Joel had meticulously planned the murders, documenting every step in a notebook. The notebook contained chilling instructions. Get carving knives to make small pieces. Bring blender and food grinder to grind meat. Use bleach to destroy DNA evidence. Flush chunks down the toilet. He even calculated the financial rewards he believed he would gain from the murders, including his parents' life insurance and assets. Joel thought his plan was foolproof. He had even faked an alibi by scheduling a text message from his mother's phone, but his arrogance blinded him to his mistakes. He left the notebook behind, along with a mountain of evidence pointing directly to him. Joel was arrested the day after the bodies were discovered. He was caught returning to the crime scene, with a meat grinder in his car, evidence that he wasn't finished with his gruesome plan. During the trial, Joel showed no remorse. He pleaded not guilty, forcing his family to relive the horrific details of the murders. His defense attorney offered little to counter the overwhelming evidence. On October 2nd, 2020, Joel was convicted of first-degree murder, felony murder, and abuse of a corpse. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Joel Guy Jr. thought he was smarter than everyone else. He believed his meticulous planning would allow him to get away with murder. But in the end, his greed and entitlement destroyed not only his parents, but also his own life. This case is a heartbreaking reminder of how selfishness and greed can twist a person into something monstrous. If you're captivated by stories like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more chilling cases to light. Thank you for watching, and let us know your thoughts on this horrifying case in the comments below.